So at times, the nutrients and cofactors needed to efficiently detox can be inadequate for the degree of toxin exposure. And the buildup of these toxins is really what I like to call a slow poison. It creates general symptoms of fatigue, malaise, brain fog, weight gain, inflammation, but really most importantly, inflammation. So we know inflammation isn't good, but it's a very vague term for many of us. So if we sprain an ankle, it swells up. The first thing we'll do is we'll put ice on it. That's inflammation. Maybe we'll take Tylenol, ibuprofen to reduce the inflammation. If you get sick, you might have a runny nose, you might have congestion, you might have body aches and pains, all of which are a result of inflammation produced by your immune system. So inflammation initially helps you to fight an infection or speeds up the healing process like a sprained ankle, but by bringing these important immune cells to an injured or sick area. However, if one's immune system stays in high alert, it can continue to produce inflammation. And this unrelenting chronic inflammation is really the driving force between many health issues. So inflammation in the bloodstream is what causes cholesterol to stick to the arteries, forming plaques and cardiovascular disease. Inflammation in the joints can contribute to arthritis. Inflammation in the body pressing on nerves or joints or discs cause pain. The most common prescription actually for a disc issue is actually a Medrol dose pack. It's a steroid to decrease inflammation. Inflammation in the brain is brain fog. We don't have pain receptors in our brain tissue, so when we have inflammation in the brain, we don't experience it as pain. The inflammation slows down the firing of our nerves, so we experience it as brain fog or cloudy thinking or slower mental function. There's actually a new model of depression based off of inflammation. They call it the cytokine model of depression, where the depression is not really due to a deficiency of a certain neurotransmitter, but really due to the brain being inflamed. So inflammation in the brain's been linked with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia. Inflammation goes on, it goes into the blood vessels, and it can damage the lining of the blood vessels, causing the blood vessels to stiffen and create hypertension. Inflammation can disrupt cellular metabolism. If a cell doesn't have adequate antioxidants to quench the inflammation, the cell can become carcinogenic and cancer-causing. If we experience inflammation in our gut, we experience this bloating or constipation or diarrhea. And inflammation in our skin is linked with eczema, psoriasis, acne, and wrinkles. So inflammation is such an important warning sign from our bodies, but really it's so connected to the liver as well. So what happens if you don't have an injury and you're not sick? Where does this inflammation come from? So anything that our immune system perceives as a foreign invader will trigger inflammation. So this could be chemicals in our environment. It could be pesticides on our food, which is another reason why detoxification is so important. Inflammation is even triggered by our own fat cells. The immune system sometimes will see fat cells as a threat and attack them with white blood cells. And the longer someone has excess weight, the longer their body can remain in a state of inflammation. And if that's not bad enough, inflammation blocks our ability to burn fat, causing insulin resistance, and interferes with the hormone called leptin that helps us feel full. Remember as well, the liver converts chemicals into metabolites that our body can eliminate in urine and sweat and stool. But if it can't get it out, the only other option our body has is to store it in tissue. And the body wants to protect our vital tissues, our heart and our brain, and so it will store it in body fat as a plan B. So fat cells play a role in actually protecting our body from chemicals that we can't clear. And there are many chemicals that are now called obesogens because the body has a hard time clearing them out, so that they're stored in that body fat. The most common one being BPA, which is found in plastics. And some people will hold on to body fat and have difficulty losing weight in an attempt to protect their vital organs from chemicals. And BPA in the plastic, it's in our Starbucks coffee cups, it's in receipt from stores, it's all over. And it's released when the plastic is heated. Imagine the exposure of these chemicals.